Have you ever wondered how weather on the other side of the world can change what's happening right outside your window? It might sound surprising, but the weather you experience each day is often shaped by events happening thousands of miles away. Our world is more connected than we sometimes realize, especially when it comes to the atmosphere. Our planet's atmosphere is one giant interconnected system. Air, moisture, and energy are constantly moving around the globe, linking distant places in ways we can't always see. What happens in one region can set off a chain reaction that affects weather patterns far away. A storm brewing near Japan can send ripples across the globe, much like a pebble tossed into a pond. The effects might not be immediate, but over days and weeks, those ripples can grow, shifting winds and temperatures across entire continents. This week, a powerful typhoon near Japan is about to trigger major weather changes for the United States and Canada. As this typhoon intensifies, it's not just a local event, it's a global influencer, capable of shaking up the weather thousands of miles away. The warmth many of you have been enjoying is about to be replaced by a significant blast of chilly Arctic air. This sudden change might catch some off guard, but it's all part of the larger story of how interconnected our weather truly is. This dramatic flip is the direct result of that distant typhoon interacting with the jet stream, the fast-moving river of air that steers our weather. The jet stream acts like a conveyor belt, carrying storms and air masses across the globe, and even a small nudge from a typhoon can set off big changes. When a big storm like a typhoon bumps into the jet stream, it can reroute air masses, sending cold air south and warm air north. This process can lead to dramatic temperature swings and unexpected weather, even in places far from the original storm. We'll break down how this typhoon will rearrange the weather map over North America. You'll see how a single event can set off a domino effect, shifting weather fronts and changing forecasts from coast to coast. We'll also check in on hurricane season because there's always something brewing in the tropics. These storms are another example of how weather systems are constantly interacting, sometimes combining forces to create even bigger impacts. Whether you're in the Rockies, the Great Plains, or along the East Coast, this global weather connection is about to become very real. No matter where you live, you're part of this worldwide system, and the effects are closer than you might think. Understanding these patterns is key to being prepared. So let's get into it. By learning how global weather works, you can stay one step ahead and make smarter decisions for you and your family. Ready for a weather journey from Asia to your front door? Let's go. The story of our weather is a global adventure, and it's unfolding right now. Our story begins with a powerful typhoon churning off the coast of Japan, its massive spiral of clouds dominating the satellite view. In the western Pacific, these storms are called typhoons, essentially hurricanes by another name, but just as fierce and awe-inspiring. Most typhoons eventually lose steam over the open ocean, fading away without much fanfare. But every so often one takes a sharp turn, first north, then east, in a process meteorologists call recurving. This particular typhoon is recurving, and in doing so, it acts like a massive boulder dropped into the fast-moving river of air known as the Pacific jet stream. The storm's energy doesn't just vanish, it gets absorbed by the jet stream, injecting a surge of momentum that creates a powerful atmospheric wave. This wave then begins a journey, traveling eastward across the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. What moves across the ocean isn't the storm itself, but a ripple in the upper atmosphere, a subtle yet significant disturbance in the flow of air that can have dramatic consequences thousands of miles away. Each autumn, meteorologists keep a close eye on these recurving typhoons because they often signal the arrival of the season's first major cold air outbreak in North America, a pattern that can shape weather for weeks. The energy from the typhoon disrupts the jet stream's usual path, forcing it to buckle and twist into dramatic waves, known as troughs and ridges, that reshape the weather patterns downstream. The initial jolt creates a deep trough over the north-central Pacific, which acts like a channel, pulling frigid air masses southward from Siberia and Alaska, setting the stage for a dramatic shift in temperature. This atmospheric ripple takes about a week to make its way across the Pacific, so while the effects in the United States are delayed, they're also remarkably predictable, giving forecasters a valuable head start. By carefully tracking the typhoon's path and its interaction with the jet stream, meteorologists can anticipate major shifts in North American weather patterns before they even begin. It's a striking example of how a single storm, born thousands of miles away, can set off a chain reaction, a domino effect, felt across an entire continent. In this way, the weather unfolding in Asia is about to connect directly to our own, linking distant regions through the invisible threads of the atmosphere. That's the astonishing power of a global atmosphere, where a single event can echo around the world, shaping the weather we experience every day. Once the typhoon's energy creates that first big dip in the jet stream, a chain reaction is set in motion that will shape the weather across an entire continent. This initial disturbance acts like a trigger, sending ripples through the upper atmosphere and setting the stage for dramatic changes thousands of miles away. A domino effect unfolds across North America, with each atmospheric shift leading to the next. The energy from the typhoon doesn't just disappear, it's transferred step by step through the jet stream, influencing weather patterns far downstream. The deep trough over the Pacific acts like a giant atmospheric slide, pulling cold air down from the polar regions. This cold air rushes southward, chilling the northern Pacific and setting up the next phase of the pattern. Downstream, the jet stream surges north, building a massive ridge of high pressure over the west. This ridge is like a wall, redirecting the flow of air and shaping the weather for everything in its path. This ridge brings sunny, unseasonably warm weather to the west, while blocking storms from coming ashore. The skies clear, temperatures rise, and the region enjoys a break from the usual stormy pattern. As the jet stream crests over the ridge, it dives south again, creating a deep trough over central and eastern North America. This trough is the counterpart to the western ridge, and it's where the real cold begins to take hold. This trough funnels frigid Arctic air into the heart of the US, setting up a dramatic temperature drop. Cities and towns across the Midwest and East brace for a sudden chill, as winter-like conditions arrive seemingly overnight. The bigger the ridge in the west, the deeper the trough in the east, meaning a more significant cold snap. The contrast between warm, sunny skies out west and icy, stormy weather in the east becomes even more pronounced. This sequence, Pacific Trough, Western Ridge, Eastern Trough, is a classic blocking pattern, locking the new setup in place for days. The weather becomes stuck with little change. As the atmosphere holds on to this dramatic configuration, it's not just a one-day cold front, it's a full reorganization of the atmosphere. The effects can last for a week or more, impacting millions of people and altering the course of the season. And it all started with that one typhoon, thousands of miles away. A single storm in the Pacific can set off a chain of events that transforms the weather across an entire continent. The atmosphere's dominoes are falling, one after another, in a mesmerizing display of interconnected forces that shape our world. How do we know this is coming? Sophisticated computer models simulate the atmosphere's future. Both the European and American models show the typhoon's signature, predicting a major pattern change for late September and early October. The European model locks in the new pattern around October 1st, a strong western ridge and a deep, cold trough in the east. Temperatures could be 15-25 degrees below average from the Midwest to the East Coast. A true taste of autumn, maybe even early winter. The American model agrees, bringing the coldest air in just a bit later, and even hints at the first snowflakes in higher elevations. When both models align, forecasters pay close attention. This is a high-probability event. The trend is clear. A transition from late summer warmth to a widespread, significant blast of cold is on the way. The models are sounding the alarm. Before the big chill, most of the country will enjoy a stretch of very warm weather, a final encore for summer. The next 6-14 days show above-average temperatures coast to coast, thanks to a flatter jet stream allowing warm air to spread north. The core of this warmth will be over the northern Rockies, Plains and Midwest, with the southeast also staying hot. Meanwhile, the southwest, mid-Atlantic and New England will see more seasonable temperatures. This warmth is deceiving, it's just the calm before the atmospheric shift. The 8-14-day outlook still shows warmth, but that's when the typhoon's influence will really kick in. Forecasters expect a dramatic shift to much colder conditions as we move into October. So, enjoy the mild weather, but get ready for a major transition. The current warmth is setting the stage for the big western ridge that will open the floodgates for Arctic air. The warm prelude is almost over. As we flip to October, the weather map will look completely different. The deep trough will be in place over the eastern half of the continent, bringing the first widespread cold air outbreak of the season. Highs in the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast could struggle to get out of the 40s and 50s, with overnight lows dipping into the 30s. This will bring the first widespread frost and freeze, ending the growing season in many areas. Even the South will feel the cool down, with Florida and the Gulf Coast dropping into the 70s and 80s. The air will feel crisp and clean, a direct import from the far north. Some higher elevations in eastern Canada and the Northeast could even see the season's first snowflakes. It's a sure sign that winter isn't far behind. The seasons are changing fast. While we focus on the coming cold, hurricane season is still in full swing. Hurricane Gabrielle is churning in the Atlantic but poses no threat to land, likely curving out toward Europe. Closer to home, a tropical disturbance south of Gabrielle has a low chance of developing as it drifts toward the eastern Caribbean. Models disagree on its future. Some show it heading toward the U.S. East Coast, others into the Gulf, or curving out to sea. For now, there's no immediate threat to the U.S., but coastal residents know to stay vigilant during hurricane season. We'll be watching this disturbance closely as the models come into better agreement. It's a reminder that even as autumn arrives, tropical threats remain. Stay tuned for updates as the situation evolves. Hurricane season isn't over yet. Eyes on the tropics always. Along with the temperature swings, we're watching for much-needed rain in the east. The next week looks promising for the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, with several rounds of showers and thunderstorms. This could help ease drought conditions, though it won't be a total drought buster. Most of the east should see near or above normal rainfall, especially the parched mid-Atlantic. Unfortunately, the deep south, especially Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, will likely stay much drier than average. These areas may miss out on the beneficial rains. It's a stark reminder of how weather patterns can deliver very different outcomes to different regions. Rain for some, dry for others. So there you have it, a dynamic time in the world of weather. A single typhoon near Japan is setting off a chain reaction that will reshape North America's weather. The dominoes are lined up: Pacific Trough, Western Ridge, and a deep eastern trough opening the door for Arctic air. We'll start with late summer warmth, but a dramatic cool-down is coming for the central and eastern U.S. It's time to find those sweaters and jackets. We'll also keep a close watch on the tropics, as hurricane season continues. Some regions will get much-needed rain, while others stay dry. Stay informed and plan ahead. Knowing what's coming helps us all prepare. We'll keep watching the skies together, and I'll be here to guide you through it all. Enjoy the warmth while it lasts, and get ready for autumn.